Hello, everybody. So glad to have you back and excited to have my guest with me today, Kristi Corless. She is a friend of mine that I met through networking, and she is also a doTERRA rep, and I'll let her tell you more what she does because she has such a variety and multitude of talents. But I want to introduce our theme for the month. Our theme this month, focusing on not being scared in our business, our little Halloween pun or whatever. So thank you, Kristi, for being here with me and for being willing to talk with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Britta. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So the theme of not being scared, I think I would like to specifically talk to you about not being scared of like going out and talking to people. With what you do with doTERRA and with your other things, you have to talk to a lot of people. And I mean, I know that, anytime you're in sales, anytime you're trying to get clients, you have to talk to a lot of people. So what are some of the things that have helped you to be able to overcome fears of talking to people, putting yourself out there, and just like, because you are so friendly and so social and have such a great relationship with people. So I would love some of your ideas.
Yeah, thank you. So, first of all, I think when we start to get that fear or that scariness, like, oh no, like, how's this going to be received or how am I going to be received? I think that comes when we're focusing on ourselves or our own inadequacies or those fears, the feelings of anxiousness. And so, what helps me, first of all, is to remember this is about that person, that other person that I'm meeting and I'm involved with, and how can something I have help them? Is it going to be able to help them or somebody else they might know? And so remembering that this isn't about me. So sometimes, and I've heard it with other coaches referred to as you're being selfish. If you're just going in being afraid and not willing to talk to people, you're being selfish. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, I don't want to be selfish, right?
Yeah.
And so that really has helped me over the years too, because even before doTERRA, before my foot zoning, before my life coaching, I did sales. I was a sales director with a cosmetic skincare company. And I had, so basically from the time I was 18, 19, I was doing something to help people service related or product related. And so I just think the first things that's going to come back to thinking about like, this is about them. What's in it for them? What could help them? And if I remember, and right now, all the products we have in the service, the foot zoning or the coaching, like it's about helping them improve their lives. And if I remember, like, some people will be like, oh, well, I don't want to, I just heard this again the other day. I don't want to ruin my relationships with my friends and family. And
Mm.
I'm like, oh my goodness, please don't say that out loud. Like I'm so about what we talk and positive thinking and attitudes and what we're saying. If we're saying that out loud, that means we're thinking that, right? And I know that's a myth or a belief that if you're in a direct sales, it could like ruin your relationships. But I'm like, no, think about the people who are struggling with, whatever A to Z ailment or issue, and think about how you're going to help them. This is not only going to help them and improve their life, they're going to be coming back to you and being like, thank you, thank you. And so again, it's about the person. And, sometimes they might already have this product or this service in their life. They might not need it, but they might know somebody else. And it might just be about them lifting and blessing them for that day. So again, I think it's about the other person, and my fears will fade away as I remember to put them first and listen to them.
I love that. That's it's a great perspective, right? Like getting out of your own head and thinking about the blessing and the benefit it can be for other people. I mean, whether you're doing direct sales or you're offering a service of, whatever it is you're doing, the service you have, you found beneficial to you and to others. It's going to bless
Right.
somebody else's life as well. So keep that in mind when you're out there sharing your message with other people, whether it's bookkeeping or
Right.
whether it's, doTERRA or foot zoning. So it can be
Right.
applicable to every aspect of life. So when you
Right.
do like share with your friends and family, and sometimes you do have people that will say, that's not for me, or no, thank you, or maybe they aren't as kind as that. How do you handle that? And also, how do you handle the relationships after that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I feel like and this is back to my experience even from early on. Yes, no, next. And so to not take things personally, again if we're not thinking about us, it's not about us whether we're accepted or rejected, right? It's about who else? who else is out there? And I've been recently helping a friend and colleague out in North Carolina, and that's been helpful for her to be like, yes, no, next, yes, no, next. And so sometimes you even play a game with how many no's can you receive, because with each no, you're that much closer to a yes. So again, that's with positive thinking. And again, whether the service or the product, whatever we're doing, it's about either, helping people's life be easier, or even if it brings them joy or fun, whether it's, a cookie or a trip or whatever it is, it's about something that will help people either have a better, easier, or more fun in their life, right? And so I just think, again, it's about yes, no, next. Not everybody will love it. And I personally, I haven't noticed any relationships and I just messaged somebody today. I was like, do you know what? I feel like I need to invite you to look at this, this, and just feel my heart, hear my heart. If this resonates with you, if this is something you're interested, great. I'd love to chat. If not, I wish you the best in what you're doing,
Yeah.
So I think if you, again, it's all about your attitude. And if you're assuming or worried that it's going to affect your relationship, maybe it will. But
Right.
if you keep in, again, it's just like, yes, no, next, we got to take the emotion out of it. And that was hard for me in the beginning when I was young, because I thought if somebody said no to the service or the product, it was saying no to me. But I've realized it's like a stick of gum. So this might help people. If you haven't heard this, it's like, okay, if we're in a room and you could offer like 10 people a stick of gum, like maybe 4 or 5 might say yes, and maybe, the others might say no. But are you offended? No, right? And
You're
so
like, thank you for giving my gum back to me, right?
yeah, right.
Okay.
And so that's, again, it's just like, it's really about knowing, if once you're confident in and I think that the confidence is a big issue, because if we are confident, we will be less nervous, less scared, less worried, right? If we are confident, if you have a big enough why, if you haven't worked through your why of your business, why you're doing what you're doing, I would encourage you to do that, if anybody listening. But once you're confident in your why and what you're doing, then it's easier to just be resilient, take the emotion out of it, like a duck, they can just shake off that water and, step it up and just keep going, that water they don't sink, right?
Yeah.
You can swim around. And then anyways, so that's
I
another.
love that. I feel like that's something my teenager needs to remember too. Like, I feel like this is not just applicable in business, right? This is a life lesson for all of us. And I see that so many times. Anything I'm doing in my business seems to translate into my life. So keeping that positivity in all that you do. So, yeah. So did you have any other things that have helped you as you've talked to people and reached out to people?
Yeah, as far as with keeping with the scary theme and what happens in our head, because I've had to work through a lot, like I said, the years that I've done this, and I help other people with that, with coaching too. And so something that's helped is what's called an interrupt statement, is because sometimes we can get going and our own thoughts will be like, oh, but then I won't be successful. Or then what if they say no? And then they'll say no, and then this will happen, and this will happen. And we have all these thoughts that like do a spiral. And
Yeah.
so what I have learned is these interrupt statements have helped. So for example, when you start feeling like you're not going to be able to do something, or you're talking with somebody and it doesn't go your way, and so then you leave, and then you're like, oh no, if you're feeling discouraged, or like you said, anything in life, if you're going along and you're starting to feel discouraged or start to feel a negative spiral coming on, I chose cancel, cancel, cancel. Some people can choose stop or no or reprogram, but I like cancel, 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 because I feel like a computer, you can just cancel, you can just X out, right? It's a
Yeah.
programming. And so I would say, cancel, cancel, cancel. The truth is, I am, in fact, let me just share you real quick. So I did this back when I was trying to earn a car. It was the first time I learned this, and I kept falling out of qualifications. I couldn't quite do it. I needed a certain amount of people on my team, and we needed to do a certain amount of volume of sales. And that would require me scheduling classes and having hosts, or, doing facials with people. And sometimes they would show up and sometimes they wouldn't. And anyways, so I was going along, and I was not making the qualifications to get that free car, and I'd be falling out. And finally I heard this step to do. And as I started doing this, that's when things really shifted for me, this and positive affirmations. And so, my after my cancel, like say somebody didn't show up, or I taught a whole big class and nobody bought anything. Instead of starting to get down and be like, oh no, I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to get that qualification again. I'm not going to get that car. I'm not going to reach that goal. If you start to, spiral, then I would say, cancel, cancel, cancel. The truth is I am driving that car all around town. The sense of satisfaction I have knowing I've helped enough other women get what they want, is overwhelming. I'm driving that car all around town knowing I really did it. So it was just that cancel, 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 and like a reframe. And so that helped me to get through. Not only did I qualify for that car once I started doing that, the following month I qualified for the higher up car and I became the director. And so that's translated through with my coaching, with my doTERRA, with my zoning, like any in life, like, is I've gone through a lot of infertility and adoption and different things. And so when you just need to stop that negative thinking, I just think that's so powerful, because if we can handle all the mindset and our thoughts before we get to the people, then again, the confidence is there. We're able to shine our light and we're able to just talk to the people or do the work that's needed, and then be able to just be resilient and handle whatever comes. Hope
I
that's helpful.
love that. Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. We are a computer, right? Just reprogramming it, getting out of that fear mindset and getting into the abundance mindset, and just reprogramming it. Such great wisdom. I'm writing all that stuff down and going to, it's stuff I've heard before, but such great reminders as well. So thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were able to join with us today and share some of these things, because so many people I talk to, that's one of the biggest stumbling blocks, is like, I just don't want to go out and sell my stuff. I'm not a salesperson. So thank you for helping us with that and for sharing your energy with us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.